رمضان يا رمضان رمضان يا رمضان رمضان يا رمضان رمضان يا رمضان.
Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam ala Rasulillah. We mentioned in the last talk or the last segment about how some people are making statements that are not acceptable concerning the long hours that we are dealing with right now. The second issue that I wanted to mention about these long hours is that I want to advise the community, you brothers and sisters, especially you brothers. I want to remind you that the Prophet ﷺ described the believer, and he said, "Al-mu'min al-qawi khayrun wa ahabbu ilallahi min al-mu'min al-da'if wa fi kulli khayr." The believer who is strong, he is better and more beloved to Allah than the believer who is weak, and both of them, they have good. The strength here is talking about strength of al-iman, and it's also talking about strength in your body, having physical prowess, ability, and capability. Because the Muslim who is strong will be able to defend himself and defend his family, defend his honor, his wealth. The Muslim who is strong, he can go out and he can work. And by working, he'll put himself in a position to give sadaqah and to help people. Whereas the believer who is weak, he can't defend himself. He'll be afraid to give da'wah ilallah. The Muslim who is weak, he can be trampled underfoot. He doesn't want to go out to spread the message, to make jihad in al-Islam and so forth and so on. So this hadith of the Prophet shows us sallallahu alaihi wasallam that in looking at these long hours, we should look at these long hours with the eye of, we can do this. I can do this, inshallah. So one of the things we see people doing that should be avoided is people become tired and they walk around in Ramadan dragging their feet. They have no pep in their step. They have no nashat. They're not active. If you were to look at them, they look like they're on the verge of death. They're not on the verge of death. It's just psychological. Now, I know that fasting all of these hours can take a lot out of you. But come on. So far, the fasting has not really been that difficult. Because once you start to do it, there's nothing to it but to do it. So I want to address this mentality that some people may have where you walk around dragging your feet, acting as if you're on the verge of death, you're parched, you're about to die from thirst and starvation. That's from shaitan. That's from shaitan. And it's something that Allah doesn't like. Allah doesn't love. Umar ibn al-Khattab in his khilafah, may Allah be pleased with him, he saw a man walking. And the man was walking munkasir, as if he was pious, walking with piety, very gentle and weak and feeble. Umar took his stick out and hit him on his shoulder and said, "Hey, stand up and walk straight. Do you want the people to look at you and to think that Muslims are weak?" The Prophet ﷺ, when he conquered Mecca and he went and he was making tawaf around the Kaaba, news came back to him that the non-Muslims of Quraysh, they were saying the Muslims have come from Medina and they arrived in Mecca and they're sick. And the kuffar, now Muslims of Quraysh, begin to think, maybe we can take this as an opportunity to get them. So the Prophet ﷺ, when he heard this rumor, he told the companions, when they were about to make tawaf, he said, unveil, reveal your right arms. Take your ihram off of your right shoulder, wrap it under your right arm, and push your arm against it so that your muscle can show. And they ran around the Kaaba the first 3. And then they walked the remaining 4. So whenever you make Umrah, whenever you make Hajj, when you go around the Kaaba, the correct thing from the Sunnah is to unveil your right shoulder and to jog, a trot, the first 3. And then you put it back over your shoulder after those 3. And you don't keep it uncovered for the rest of the tawaf. The point is, why did the Prophet do that? Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He wanted to show the kuffar of Quraysh, non-Muslim Quraysh, hey, we're not sick. And if you want to tangle with us, you're going to tangle with some people who are ready to deal with you. That goes to show that the Muslim is an individual who, he doesn't walk around munkasir, even if he's tired. From the Sunnah of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Al-Imam At-Tirmidhi has a book called Al-Shama'il Al-Muhammadiyah. he gives the descriptions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What does he like? He used to sweat, how he slept, he used to snore. He talked about how he used to walk. The companion said that the Prophet ﷺ, when he used to walk with a brisk pace, as if he really had somewhere to go. He didn't walk like some people walk during the month of Ramadan. They're lollygagging, walking very slow. If you're a person who naturally likes to walk slow, you don't like walking fast, there's no problem. But the hadith is showing that the Prophet was a person who had high determination. So he had somewhere to go, something to do. And that is how we should be. Allah said in the Quran, Ya Yahya, khudh al-kitab biquwwatin. O Yahya, the messenger from Bani Israel. Ya Yahya, take the book with power. Take the book with might. Don't take the book with weakness. That's not our religion. Be on al-Islam and be strong. And what I'm talking about, I'm not talking about being shadeed and rough and tough with people. I'm talking about in your outer appearance. Walk around like a person who is strong. You have something to do. Don't be munkasir. Allah prohibited that in the Quran. In the last ayat that I want to share with you here today, in Surah Ali Imran, ayat 138, Allah Ta'ala mentioned and He prohibited, وَلَا تَهِنُوا وَلَا تَحْزَنُوا وَأَنْتُمُ الْأَعْلَوْنَ إِن كُنْتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. He said, don't be weak. Don't be faint-hearted. Don't be weak. وَلَا تَهِنُوا. Don't be weak. Don't lose hope. Don't be faint-hearted. And don't be sad. When in fact, أَنْتُمُ الْأَعْلَوْنَ. You people are the upper ones. You people are a'la. You are the a'lawna if you are truly believers. So with that being the case, I encourage you. Let this reminder come to your mind during the days of Ramadan. When you feel tired, push yourself. At least appear to be a person who is given that image about yourself. And Allah is a'la and a'lam. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Wa barak ala nabiyyina.
Ramadan ya Ramadan.